Iti Imhotep Seni Senet Ankwas Dejet Anku Ja Seneb Dua Henu. It's your brother Asaram Ka. Today we're going to read the instructions of Ankh Sheshonq. Been having some issues going live lately. Now that they've dispersed Google Hangout, so it's caused me a couple issues as I adjust. Things happen sometimes, but we're going to discuss the instructions of Ankh Sheshonq today. One of the things I want to do is try to get the title piece up here. This way you're not looking at my face the whole time I'm reading this. But I'm gonna go live through the webcam, and that may become an issue. So, because you can't share from here generally, and there are a few other issues from here, it appears I'm having with my sound as I look below. So I want to make sure everything is good to go. Check, 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Looks like it's pausing a little bit. Let me see. Check. Check 1 2. One none around. All right, it don't sound like it's doing too bad. It may be choppy. The best way to find out is if I pull up the YouTube. Let's not pull up the YouTube. We're not gonna do that. Let's just keep it simple right now. It appears like it's going well, so we'll do it well. So the instructions of Ankh Sheshonq. Let's first set the premise. The instructions of Ankh Sheshonq. Miriam L. Lichtime, the translator, here today. She did this in 1914. And then Berkeley College, I believe, UCLA or Berkeley, whatever it is, in California, ended up getting the rights, and I think they copywrote it in 1980 or something like that. So that's the rights of this book. Public domain. She was 1914, right? So the primary resource is in the British Museum, and it's number 10508. So that's something that you want to be, knowledgeable about this particular reading. And let's read. That's all we're going to do today is read and break this down. So acquired by the British Museum in 1896, the papyrus was damaged, in damaged condition, and its provenance is unknown. It consists of 28 columns of pages with large parts missing from pages 1 and 2. And when I get to those parts that are missing, we're just going to, I'll tell you, I'll say this part is missing. This portion is missing. Just so you know. From pages 24 onward, holes and considerable rubbing on the surface have made much of the lines illegible. In addition, the top edge of the papyrus is damaged throughout its whole length, so that all first lines are missing. And you'll notice that right in the very beginning portion of me reading this, I'm going to say this portion is missing because they don't have the first 2 lines. The handwriting is of late Ptolemaic date. While the composition itself may be earlier, no firm dating has yet been achieved. Like earlier instructions for the text, has an introductory narrative which purports to describe the circumstances that led to the composition of the maxims. And, like its prototypes, the introduction is a literary device and a fiction. The inventor of this introduction must have striven for originality, for he placed the composition of the maxims into the setting of a full plot against the life of a pharaoh. So they're trying to say that his premise for writing these is fictitious. But I mean, if you know Ankh Sheshonq's story, if you're going to put me in jail for life because I didn't kill a particular person, that's not necessarily fictitious. That's just what it is. That's me writing about that situation. So kind of disagree. We disagree with the writer a little bit there. But moving forward, Ankh Sheshonq, a priest of Ra at Heliopolis, has come to visit his boyhood friend, Harsis, at Memphis, where the latter has recently obtained the position of chief royal physician. So his friend Harfis is a doctor. Ankh Sheshonq has a personal problem for which he seeks the help of his friend. Harsis invites him to stay with him for a long time and confides in him that he and other courtiers are plotting to kill the Nasubiti, the pharaoh, if you will, the Nasubiti. Um, Ankh Sheshonq tries unsuccessfully to dissuade his friend from the plot. Their conversation is overheard by a servant who reports it to the king. Harsis and the other plotters are executed, and Ankh Sheshonq is sent to prison for having failed to inform the king. Languishing in prison, he composes the instructions for the benefit of his youngest son. So you see his plot. You see, he's facing life imprisonment for stopping them for a foolish plot, but for not reporting it, you get life in prison. So the maxims that follow the introduction differ considerably from earlier instructions, whereas the older instructions were composed of interconnected groups of sentences that taught moral lessons through demotic instructions. So this was written in demotic. As well, consist of single, self-contained prose sentences, each occupying one line on the page. Several successive sentences may but need not deal with the same topic, and no attempt is made to bring all statements on one topic into one sequence. Thus, the content is diverse and miscellaneous. Um, the particular flavor of the instruction of Ankh Sheshonq comes from its combination of pragmatism and humor. The moralizing is down to earth and utilization rather than lofty and idealistic, so much so that sometimes expediency takes the place of moral principle. Um, the sayings are either phrased as commands, right? So he's commanding his son to do something, um, or uh, as generalized observations. So he's telling you what he sees. He's talking to his son about what he sees, what's taking place in his life, and what will go on. Um, let me see. And many of them, especially of the latter type, may have been proverbs, but unless they are repeated more than once in this text or elsewhere, we cannot be sure that they were proverbs. Like all instructions, this one must have been composed or compiled by a member of the scribal class, and the sayings are addressed to everybody, especially to the average man. P. Walcott's attempt to find significant resemblances between the instructions of Ankh Sheshonq and Hesiod's work and days is unconvincing. The text presents numerous difficulties. Glanville's first edition must be studied in conjunction with Stricker's annotated Dutch translation, which contains many improvements. In particular, Strickler adopted a number of textual readings differing from Glanville's, almost all of which I have accepted. So the Merriam-Lichtenstein basically accepted what Stricker did. In his adaptation and his translation of this work as we get to it. And this is going to be part one because these are lengthy. And when I do it and finish this, I'll do another version where I'll either put the writings up as I'm reading this, or I'll do it and there'll be pictures of Ankh Sheshonq and they'll play across this, and we'll probably have some melodic music in the back. But you'll hear this narration going before the book starts, right? So let's see. Let us begin with the first portion. They call this 1.9 as other portions are lost, and he's explaining what's happened to him. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words are missing. Pharaoh asked him many things, and he answered them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 words are missing after that. Of the chief physician, and the chief physician did nothing without consulting Harsis, son of Ramos, about it. A few days later, it happened that the chief physician went to his father's. Harsis, son of Ramos, was made chief physician, and he was given everything that belonged to the chief physician entirely, and his brothers were made priests without fee. And Pharaoh did nothing without consulting Harsis, son of Ramos, about it. After this, it happened one day that Ankh Sheshonq, son of uh, Chi, Chianufi, 1, 2, 3 words are missing, was in great trouble. He thought to himself, saying, "What I should like to do is go on to Memphis and stay with Harsi, son of Ramos. I've been told he has been made chief physician and has been given everything that belonged to the chief physician entirely. And his brothers have been made priests without fee. Perhaps the Necha will put it in his heart to do for me what is right." He went away from Heliopolis without informing any man on earth of his going. He found a ship which was whaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. "Stay here in Memphis with me," we assume Harshi said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. "Your people 3 times a month." Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, stayed with Harsi, son of Ramos, and he, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing, to Heliopolis, to his people 3 times in a month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing, consulting about an evil destiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. Harsi, son of Ramos, the chief physician, consulted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, about it. Then said Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, to him, 1, 2, 3 lines are missing. "May your life prosper." Uncle Jocelyn, basically. "Pharaoh is the image of Pre." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. "Agree to the misfortune of Pharaoh. Pharaoh has done for you many good things, more than to all the countries of the palace. You were brought to the palace when you had nothing in the world. He appointed you chief physician. He let you be given everything that belonged to the chief physician entirely. He had your brothers made priests without fee. Is what you are doing in return to have him killed?" said he. "Let go of me, Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi. There is nothing to the words you have said. The counselors, the generals, the granders, the place are all agreed to it." Now it happened that everything Harsi, son of Ramos, was saying to Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, and that Ankh Sheshonq said to him in reply, there was a man in the household inside a place where he heard the voices of the 2 men who was called Wahibri, Maki, son of Ptah Ertaeus. It was the turn of this same man to lie down that night in the vestibule of the private chamber where Pharaoh was. When night came, he lay down in the vestibule of the private chamber where Pharaoh was. In the 8th hour of the night, Pharaoh woke, uncovered his face, and called out, saying, "Who is outside?" "Wahibri Maki, son of Ptah Ertius, answered him. Pharaoh said to him, "Woe!" 1, 2, 3 lines are missing. "Woe at the hand of Pre and the gods who are." He said this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more lines are missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more lines are missing. When he had said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing, he said, "Shall I be saved? Shall I be saved? Wahibri Maki, son of Ptah Ertaeus, shall I be saved?" He said, "You will be saved by the hand of Pre and the gods who are with him, and great Neith, the mother, the great goddess, shall place the peoples of the whole earth beneath the feet of Pharaoh." He related to Pharaoh everything he had overheard. Harsi, son of Ramos, saying to Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, and what Ankh Sheshonq had said to him. In reply, without altering a single word, Pharaoh was unable to sleep till morning. When the morning of the next day had come, Pharaoh took his seat in the hall of the palace in Memphis. The magistrates stood in their station and their generals in their ranks. Pharaoh looked to the station of Harsi, son of Ramos. Pharaoh said to him, "Harsi, son of Ramos, you were brought to the palace when you had nothing in the world. I appointed you chief physician and let you be given everything that belonged to the chief physician entirely. And I had your brothers made priests without fee. What have you done, conspiring against me to have me killed? He said to Pharaoh, my great lord, on the day of which Pre commanded to do good to me, he put Pharaoh's good fortune in my heart. On the day on which Pre commanded to do harm to me, he put Pharaoh's misfortune in my heart. Pharaoh said to him, the words since they were said to us, did you say them to any man at all? He said, I said them to Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, a priest of Pre, who was in here in Memphis with me. Pharaoh said to him, Ankh Sheshonq, son of Tianufi, what is he to you? He said, his father was the friend of my father. His heart was much attached to him. Pharaoh said, let Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, be brought. They ran for Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi. They ran in return, bringing him uh, before Pharaoh at once. Pharaoh said to him, Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, did you eat my bread and hear evil against me without coming to inform me of it, saying, they are conspiring against you to kill you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are missing. Another 6 lines are missing. Is what you are doing in return to have him killed? By your face, my great lord, I did all I could with him, but he did not give me an answer. I knew that these matters would not be hidden from Pharaoh. As soon as he had said this, Pharaoh had an altar of earth built at the door of the palace. He had Harsi, son of Ramos, placed in the fire, together with all the people and every man who had conspired in Pharaoh's doom. Pharaoh had Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, taken to the house of detention of Daphne. A servant, a staff bearer, a man of Pharaoh's household was assigned to him, and his food was brought from the palace daily. After this, there occurred the ascension day of Pharaoh. Pharaoh released everyone who was in prison at Daphne except Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi. His heart sank on account of it. He said to the staff bearer who was assigned to him, let a favor be done to me by you. Let a pallet and a scroll be brought to me, for I have a boy who I have not yet been able to instruct. Talking about his son. I shall write an instruction for him and have it taken to Heliopolis to instruct him with it. The staff bearer said, I will. Report it before the Pharaoh first. The staff bearer reported it before Pharaoh first. Pharaoh commanded, saying, let a pallet be taken to him. Do not let a scroll be taken to him. They took a pallet to him. They did not take a scroll to him. He wrote on the shards of jars the matters which he could teach his son in writing. This is the instruction which the divine father, Ankh Sheshonq, whose mother was, 3 lines are missing, wrote for his son on the shards of the jars that were brought into him containing mixed wine while he was imprisoned in the house of detention of Daphne. He said, mistreatment and misery, my great lord Pre. Imprisonment, mistreatment is what is done to me in return for not having killed the man. This is what you despise, my great lord Pre. Is this now how Pre is angry with the land? Oh, you people, who shall find these pot shards, heard from me how Pre is angry with the land. Let's stop there for a second. So, what you have here, you have our brother Ankh Sheshonq, who came to a land to visit his friend Harsis. And when he visits Harsis, he uncovers a plot. The plot he uncovers is to kill the king who just made him the chief physician. As the chief physician, he wanted more. He got greedy. He wanted to be the Nasu Beti. So as he conspired to kill the king, one of the king's men overheard the conversation as Ankh Sheshonq tried to thwart him from this idea. Ankh Sheshonq's responsibility as a citizen is to kill that man for plotting against the king, for plotting against Heru on earth, for being a limb that's disobedient, that should be hacked up. And obviously the king just made him a chief physician. So the king commanded that all the friends, all the people who conspired with Harcease be brought before him, and he burnt them. And after he burnt them, the person who tried to reason with Harcease was locked in prison for life. He was locked in prison for life. And he's locked in prison for life because the command is, if you disrespect Haru, to get rid of that person. That person should be dealt with immediately, right? So a lot of lessons can be taken from that, which we won't get into right now. We're gonna conclude that for now. When we come back, we're gonna start to get into the maxims and the breakdown of what Ankh Sheshonq wrote for his son, those particular instructions, those maxims, which will sound similar to Pataz, which will sound similar to some stuff you heard in the Bible. Imitap, brother Cosmic Thoughts, I see you. Imitap. And it will start to break down a lot of the instructions and the guidance we take when we study ancient Kemet, and some of the reasoning behind studying ancient Kemet, and what you should know. I'll probably do this a little later on tonight. I have to go teach, so I got to go to the gym. We got to get busy at the gym real quick. But I'll see you guys shortly. We'll cover that. We'll go over some things, and then we're also going to get back to some other discussions we had of recent to put a closure on those as well. And then I have a debate coming up on the Argument League, I think on Tuesday, the 12th. So tune into that if you can. Try to vote for your brother. Hit the like button if you will. But I do this for you guys, not for likes or for money. A lot of people on here because they need money. This is their livelihood. This is not my livelihood. I do it to share the spirituality and the guidance from Africa from way back when, in hopes that it'll guide you now, regardless of your creed, spirituality, religion, persona, race, etc., etc. It's time to get your minds right. And of course, before we leave, let me shout out to the Latinos who got killed recently, and the brothers and sisters who got killed by the gunmen in Dayton, Ohio, and the brothers and sisters, or everybody who got killed over there in El Paso, Texas. Gunmen came out there, sprayed fire, and in the name of Christianity, as his letter wrote. Different things for you guys to think about right now is times of turmoil are here. You need to get your minds right. And it's time you need to get that guidance. Let me get out of here. I got 30 minutes to get ready. Imitep, Uncle Astajet, Uncle Jasaneb. Remember who you are and be an Asar. And I'll see y'all probably in about 3 hours. Imitep.